well, I haven't heard anything from PlayStation. I better buy an Xbox. Hello and welcome to the Tidbit Cast, the podcast where we talk about all the things we like. So, I'm Colm and I'm joined by
Aaron.
And of course,
yo, it's Gary.
Yeah, we're in Gary's house for the first time. So if you hear any ambulances or any wild dogs barking or anything,
ambulance eye.
And no, Jesus. That's not a word.
That's not it at all.
Then we do apologise. Anyway, so the basis of this is we all bring a topic to talk about each week, and we're going to actually crack on with Gary's topic. Actually, before we do, I want to wish David the very best of health because he is quite sick. So, David, I hope you get better. Even though this will be released like 2 weeks from now, so yeah. He'll be fine by then. But it doesn't matter. That's the sentiment I want to say. So, I hope you get better, David, or don't die.
At the very least.
Yeah, David.
Appreciate that.
Take it easy, David.
Okay, take it away, Gary.
PlayStation are skipping E3 2019 is what the title will read for this episode. Thoughts?
I have thoughts.
Thoughts? Question mark?
Okay, so my first thought is, and I'm funny enough, I'm actually the one who showed a link of this to Gary, and he didn't remember.
Oh, I did that before that.
But anyway, there is a point here.
Because I came up with like a pretty
I came up with all these ideas. I have a notepad and I write stuff down. Your stupid voice isn't as good as my stupid voice.
My stupid voice is better than my stupid voice. I knew about my stupid voice before you knew about my stupid voice.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, so my thought is, this isn't surprising. How could it be?
No.
Like, it just seems to me that it's kind of going to be next door, and they're going to call it the PlayStation Expo or something stupid like that.
No, PS Expo is cancelled.
They're not going to just skip E3. They're going to have something on at the time.
No.
It just seems irrelevant.
They have said, because there's a tweet, this all kind of broke from, I believe it's Varsity. Varsity is the name of the thing, and then Kotaku, they pulled it down, the story again. Varsity put this up, then took it down, and then Kotaku's confirmed a few minutes later, oh wait, this is a real story, in the first few hours of this breaking, and then a tweet from PlayStation saying, yeah, I'm skipping, stuff like that, and they said they're not going to have something on at the same time. So that's not going to happen. They said they're not going to be involved in E3. Yes, there are going to be PlayStation games there because they're going to have PlayStation games there. It just means that they're not going to have a space.
What about The Last of Us Part 2?
They don't need it. Because the thing is, I also agree that if they had to go on, unless they're going to announce new IPs, it's just going to be the same as last year, except it's going to be one down because they showed Spider-Man, and now it's going to be the other three, which is Ghost of Tsushima,
Days Gone.
Not Days Gone, because that would be out by then. That'll be out. Yeah.
So they're only doing this because they have nothing to show.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Maybe.
Or is it
because they're going to keep that shit under wraps, and then there's also Death Stranding and Last of Us Part 2, which again, Last of Us Part 2 doesn't need it.
Not just Death Stranding.
Yeah, but that shit's gonna sell. That shit's gonna sell so hard. Death Stranding is going to come in 10 years, and it's going to Tsushima. Death
Stranding's already out, Gary.
Apparently we're getting a fucking release date for it soon.
It's already happening. Using your social media as we speak. Kojima is reading the tidbit books. He's listening to it now.
That's not. I imagine that's how
he's going to use. I'm going to use these boys.
Yeah.
I'm using these boys.
Why are we boys?
I don't know. It's just anybody older than yourself, you can call a boy or girl. Or
I can call both of you boy.
Yeah, you can, I suppose.
Boy. It has such racist connotations that I think I'll avoid boy.
Or you could just frame it in God of War.
Kratos, yeah.
I could, but the fact that the guy in God of War was voiced by a black man.
Christopher
Judge.
Christopher Lloyd.
I've done that before. I've talked about Christopher Judge, and I've called him Christopher Lloyd as well. Because I think
Christopher Lee from moments like
Marty.
I straight away go to Christopher
Lloyd.
Boy. She's also a voice actor in some games as well, so I also confused. Oh my god. I think this isn't too... I think it kind of makes sense. Like, they get rid of PSX for this year. They said they're skipping out on it this year. And then it's like they're skipping out on E3 next year. And so it means that I think this is also the ESA, like the organizers of the event. One thing that's going to be for them is how do you combat those rumors? Because during E3 now, this also is a move for them press-wise, because it means that during E3, people are going to be talking about PS3. Oh my God.
Jesus.
They're going to be talking about PlayStation. They're going to be talking about like, yeah, but what are PlayStation doing? Because all of the reporters are going to be asking, so how was it this year without PlayStation? And a lot of people also, like, I saw a lot of comments were like, oh yeah, it's not E3 anymore, it's E2. Because now it's just Nintendo and Microsoft. It's like, oh.
What about
because they're the big three.
Big four.
The big three.
Four.
What's the four?
And there's no Microsoft. There won't be Microsoft. It'll be E1.
There is going to be Microsoft.
There wasn't Microsoft this year. It was they said
it was.
They said, oh, we're in our own thing, didn't they?
Oh no, they're still a part of E3.
But they had their own building.
Yeah, across the street.
Yeah.
That they owned already. So they're just like,
oh, let's save some money.
The reason they're doing that also is because of traffic-wise, because the year beforehand it was so congested and it was hard there. They're just like, okay, so now we're just going to have a building across, so we're going to have like more open spaces at the actual like E3, the LA Convention Center that they use. But across the street, we're going to have the Microsoft thing, so we can actually like, space it out with more floor plan to work with. Because with a lot of people and they're selling tickets and they're adding even more tickets the next year, it's like, okay, we're going to just go across the way. And so they're kind of distancing themselves, but it also kind of... I mean, the most audience you're going to get also, because it's becoming more fan-driven rather than industry.
But is it now not... it's not a hardware expo anymore, it's really more software. As in, it's not about the consoles at the moment, because the consoles only appear every 7 or 8 years.
About games, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily about Microsoft or Nintendo. You still have PCs. I know PCs and Microsoft. But,
with also, that also goes into another question that I kind of had. A point that I saw going around was, if PlayStation are not going to do this, maybe because they want to build hype, or maybe because they don't want to have contact and people are going to, theorize and have rumors and stuff like that, they could... Like, that time they're not using has to be filled by something. It is going to be filled by something else. There's going to be another press thing. And a lot of people are saying that even if they didn't have anything big to show, they could...
Show off games at least.
They could show off indies. They could show off JRPGs.
Yeah.
Like, these games that don't usually get as much traction. They could do that as well. But then also the argument to that is... Well, then it means that what if they... Because they've done like stuff in the past, like Paris Games Week. I mean, Paris Games Week, the highlight of the last one I can remember is that to do the trailer for The Last of Us Part 2. And there are a bunch of indies announced during that. I didn't hear a lot about those. It was just... All the next week was just... So what did you think about the choices? Like, it is very visceral. And everybody's just talking about the trailer. Like, that overshadows the rest of them. So if you have that... And so people were saying that, oh, maybe... What they're going to do then is they're going to have their own event, like Paris Games Week, and they're going to show off all this stuff together. They're going to space it out with indies. They're going to space it out with interpolating or I don't know what to say. Like in the intervals between these big games, are going to have these little indies showing off in their own event that they can choose how long it's going to go for.
yeah, but the thing with that is, there aren't that many indies that are exclusive to PlayStation, are there? There really aren't.
They have studios, they have bigger studios, but the thing...
Off the top of my head, like, I'm probably wrong, but...
Well, they don't have a bunch of studios that can do this. And they can get exclusives to that. I mean, Switch has been that thing of they've got a load of exclusive games to do that, of studios that are just doing indies, and then they just went, well, you just come to this platform and we'll have exclusives for it, which makes sense because indies are something better in Switch. So they can easily kind of get that. PlayStation can do something similar to that.
PlayStation, they always end up just throwing out their indies for free very quickly.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus. But that's also a very, very enticing thing. Because, for example, Rocket League was nothing. Like, that game was losing interest after it came out. After a few months, it was not being talked about. They put it on PlayStation Plus. They got 2 million downloads.
Because it was free.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was PlayStation Plus. And now the
Do you know what other game is free?
What?
Fucking
Fortnite.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
But that is one of those things where if Rocket League was not on PlayStation Plus, we would not be playing that game anymore. Or if people were,
I've
it would be
never
it would be a
played
cult
it.
thing. It would be a cult thing. And I have a Nintendo Switch, I still play it, and it may not have been there for watching PlayStation Plus. So there is legitimacy there with having them show off those things, but again, it's putting it on PlayStation Plus. But maybe they're going to do, obviously, their own event, but it means that we're not going to hear about them in any big sense for like 13 months.
Yeah, that's okay. They fucking knocked it out of the park in the last 2 years, and then they can take some time off. God of War, Spider-Man. Yeah, they can take a break.
It's not as if
but
also
Sony
they're
did.
not going to take a break. Like, it's
No,
like
as in,
the
like,
entire
they can
company
take-
is like
No, they can take an advertising break insofar as we're gonna go focus on the stuff instead of we're gonna put time into the games and not into.
They're obviously still going to have announcements.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of their announcements do usually come from PlayStation Blog and their own stuff, and they also have, like, their podcast that they use. They also have their podcast that they use with CEOs. Like that, Neil Druckmann comes on, and you see bunch of people come on. Like Sean Layton is always there. You'll have these people coming on and talk about their stuff, and they'll be announcing things throughout it, but it's not going to be anything like absolutely major.
Yeah.
Or if it is, they're going to shadow drop it, because at this point they don't really need to. And a lot of people are saying that, well, they're going to lose some traction, they're going to lose some stuff, and this is going to put more onto Microsoft. This is going to get more people involved in Microsoft, because
But nobody, it's hardly as if people are going to suddenly decide, well, I haven't heard anything from PlayStation, I better buy an Xbox.
that is also another thing. Nobody's going to be crossing off their Christmas list that PlayStation for an Xbox. Though at the same time, this is how PlayStation got popular in the first place, is that the Dreamcast was on, and that was the big console, and then PlayStation 1 came out. And then they took advantage of that. It's the year after it was like the year after the Dreamcast, and they did that. And then Xbox did the same thing during the 360 era, where a year before the PS3, PlayStation were the big dogs on top after PS2, with it was an incredible console, a really good lineup of games, such a catalog,
infinite lineup of games,
infinite catalog of games and then Xbox came out with the 360 a year before the PS3. And destroyed them that generation, and that's the reason Xbox became, also because of the online capabilities of that, which nobody had at the time, and so they destroyed them. So this could be a chance for Microsoft to do that, but I imagine PlayStation knows that. But again, every big console has always been sidelined by the other because of their own hubris. It's happened. Every single console generation, another console comes by, or two rivals come, and one always trumps the other because the reigning champion.
And they're all forgetting about Nintendo.
But Nintendo did the same thing, with the NES and SNES, and then they kind of lost, and then they lost it. Atari did that.
Sega.
Atari did that, and they lost it to Nintendo. It's always gone back in the line, and for the last 20 years, it's been really between those two, the PlayStation and the Xbox. And again, Xbox were on top, and then they flubbed the Xbox One. They flubbed it. They flubbed it, and then PS4 took advantage of that and gave the biggest burn of all time with having to share games and seeing you. Just seeing Yoshida there with his big shitting grin on his
And this is how you hand the game over.
I was like, yeah, so the console leader, they have it twice as much as Xbox. Xbox didn't even release their figures. They haven't released their figures for the Xbox One.
Because they're so ashamed.
In about a year and a half. For that reason, they're probably, I'd say...
They probably lose money if they release their
50
figures.
million or something like that.
Imagine the fucking sales of PS4s this year alone.
It's about 90 million.
I've bought two.
It's about 90 million.
What? Okay, I bought one.
They said a few months ago, it's probably at this point, it's at about 90 million. They already said, no, they said a few months ago it was 85 million. At this point, it's 85 million. And
That's
they said,
Christmas.
But they said that, I want to say, during the summer, at about June, is when they said, July, it was, like they had the the sponsors.
You do realize we're actually in the golden age.
Yeah.
Like of this life cycle. As sci-fi as that sounds,
absolutely, yeah.
We're in the golden age of this life cycle, and we don't know it. It's all, guys. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, because it actually is. It was the shareholders in July, the shareholders meeting that they had, where the CEO was just kind of like, yeah, this is the first time since the PlayStation has come out, the PlayStation 4 in 2013, that we've almost plateaued. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's not just a sharp arrow inclined going upwards. It's now the arrow's starting to go down a bit. It's still up.
It's slowing down.
It's just slowing down, and this is the first time it's kind of slowed down since we launched. So, yeah, and that's when the first thing started happening.
And that's when people started selling Matt Radley.
And started saying like, PS5 then, PS5 then. It's like, no. Still plenty more, trust me. And also, this means that, okay, they're not going to E3 next year. PS5 announcements happening next year.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they could make their comeback in 2020 with the console.
It is confirmed it now. Like,
that's pretty much what.
It has not been confirmed.
No, that's not confirmed, but it's just.
Okay, Gary, make your prediction so that we can all record your prediction for this.
PS5 is going to be announced in 2019, possibly 2020.
Oh yeah, you're hedging your bets by going. Well, maybe 2021 as well, just in case. Yeah.
But I'm going to say that they're announcing it 2019.
Okay, right, okay. We have that soundbite. Remember this.
Announcing it 2019, most likely.
Show off their comeback at E3 if they even go back to E3.
They're not going to come back. No, it's too far now with the rumours, and then confirming that they're not going to go there.
I mean as in like in 2020.
Oh, yeah, they are. They just said they're skipping E3 2019.
That's why I just so like they think
we're never going back.
Yeah, they can make up the difference. It's just going to put more spotlight on Microsoft because now they're going to be the big one, and Nintendo as well.
But it also means that everyone's going to be looking at Sony when they come back.
But the thing is though, like they can come back, but they don't necessarily have to, because Nintendo has been doing the same thing for the last few years, where the E3 is not their big event. E3 is for their Western audiences, and in the last one they didn't really release anything new. The biggest thing they had was more information about Smash. That was it. And when did they announce Smash? During one of the Nintendo Direct that they have every month or two. Xbox, the last their big announcements, what have they been doing? They have their own thing, which is Inside Xbox, a show that they have like every 2 months. Like, that's the way it's turning into now, that they're having their own events. They're having their own online videos that come out. I mean, that's Nintendo have,
it's like a magazine online.
Yeah, that's literally what they do. That's what they do from now on.
The old magazine.
Was it OXL, wasn't it?
PlayStation have now kind of like, I think they're starting to get into that. Nintendo have been doing it for years. E3 is not a big event for them anymore. It just isn't. They have a pre-recorded video. It's all edited, and they haven't done a live event for 2 years at E3. They don't have to, because they have their own thing that they do every month, and it seems like PlayStation are kind of doing that now. They're gonna do their own shit. And
what's wrong, Gary?
I just think they could really spotlight the other people.
As in Microsoft with Crackdown 3.
That didn't get fucking moved up a few months.
Let's not go into that rabbit hole, please.
Fucking
That's
hell.
a long rabbit hole.
Like,
because
I remember when that was announced, and I was even hyped. I was like, man, this looks cool, like real time damage, and it's all on a server, so you don't have to worry about
it's all cloud based,
Yeah.
which we were talking about beforehand. Are the people handling the cloud?
And I was like, oh wow, this is incredible. If I break something, it won't just drop my frame rate. It's all just going to a cloud. This is incredible. And then I never heard a thing again.
Yeah, and apparently that's the biggest issue with its development. That's the biggest issue with its development, because every time
Terry Crews.
No, Matt Booty, head of Xbox Studios. Matt Booty. His name is spelled exactly the way you think.
I'm sorry, what?
No, Matt Booty, the dude who, every time there's any update about Crackdown, he's the guy who has to come out and talk about it.
Crackdown.
Crackdown Matt Booty, yes.
Booty. Do we see any correlation?
I love it so much. But yeah, he's just dude who like came out and talked about it.
It sounds like more of an order than anything. Crackdown Matt Booty. Crackdown Matt Booty.
Because this is hurting more than anybody else to get into the serious side.
Oh.
Than anyone else. Colm, just open the Coke can, please.
Can.
Just open the Coke
Bottle.
Dude,
It's already open.
Oh,
I did it so silently nobody heard. But you drew attention to it, so thank you very much. You did the exact opposite of what I wanted to happen. Thank you, Gary.
drew attention to it as you're trying to slowly do it, kind of like PlayStation. The sound of their satisfied sigh at the end of all this. Because this is going to be a thing where, because all the third parties, the ones that aren't exclusive to them, they're going to go to Microsoft stage. Because E3 is still the biggest gaming event of the year. And if your game is not going to be shown by Sony,
but it might be.
who's it going to be shown?
But the thing is, certain developers have their own booths at E3.
Yeah, I know that.
So I mean,
The press events are the draw.
yeah, but they're like, is it not the case that Microsoft tried that this year with what? How many titles they just announced and they just fired them at people?
50.
Yeah.
And it was the most
like-
exciting one. The most exciting press event.
Yeah, it was like the we didn't start the fire of press events,
Yeah.
you know. Like,
Yeah, they're
we
just
have
like,
this game and this game and this game and this game, and then there was this game and then there was this game and then there was this game. We didn't start the fire.
so this is going to be that all over again, probably, because if PlayStation are going to be there, then it means that, because E3 is still the way that you get out a lot of these games, a lot of these announcements, and even if PlayStation, yes, they're the console leader, yes, they have more, but E3 is still the biggest exposure you're ever going to get. That is still a huge thing, and yes, PlayStation Plus is a good thing for a lot of people.
Do you think at the time of E3, PlayStation might release a video or a demo or a...
They said they're not going to do anything at the time of E3.
Week before,
week after.
No, they can still do it. But again, the 2 weeks leading up to E3 are like this year we saw in like the 3 weeks leading up to E3, almost everything had been rumoured. Like almost like everything, all leaks, all stuff coming out. We knew a lot about this stuff.
Because people in the business can't keep their mouth shut. Like
no, it's also
it's not even a rumour. It's just see people going on Reddit.
Yeah.
Going, guys, this is actually exactly what's going to happen.
Now
ask me anything. Fuck it, I'll tell you anyway.
It's like now the company who did the domain websites for Resident Evil, HD remasters are now they are the ones that are also hosting the website for a DMC website all of a sudden. And now one about Resident Evil, like HD remaster 2.
Do you guys know that there's a name for the next Elder Scrolls game? Just as a side thing.
Oh, what is it?
It's called Redfall.
Redfall.
Yeah. Bethesda purchased the domain name for the word Redfall. And they've only ever done that with titles such as Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind. That is the next name.
Redfall, that's kind of a cool name though, I like it.
Yeah. So it's either the fall of the Red Guards or it's the fall of Red Mountain and the cataclysm that caused. I don't know how much you guys know about it, but I won't.
Bits and pieces. Side note, in the spare time, should I look into Elder Scrolls Online?
I play it fanatically.
Okay, cool.
So yeah. I am always online playing that game.
Biased.
I am not the best person to talk to about that, and Gary hasn't played it. I love it.
I love this shit out of Oblivion and Skyrim.
It's not the same.
No,
it's just adventuring. Like it's just you do your own thing. You don't really like. You get to go everywhere in Tamriel more or less. So yeah.
All right, then.
Yeah.
All right then.
Sorry, getting back on topic.
Yeah, just
do we have any more to say?
Yes, what I wanted to say is that it's actually going to hurt their properties. It's going to hurt Sony properties, I think.
Do you think? I don't think it. No.
Because
I actually think it will, but it won't be that bad.
It won't be that
for
bad.
The following year, like.
Yeah, it won't be that bad, but I imagine a lot of people are very annoyed that they cannot talk about their games on the E3 stage, because that is still how you get a lot of hype for your games.
But how many of those games are only with Sony? Only with Sony. Yeah. But how many of those games are only with Sony? I mean, how many of those are exclusives? Because if they're not exclusives, like you said, they just go to Microsoft and they still get to talk at E3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anything other than that, like, it should be fine. But the thing is, like, there is a certain market mentality to this. Because if you release, if you keep every year just hyping it up, every year you're going, oh, we're getting better, and now we're doing more stuff this year, and then next year we're doing more stuff than last year, people are going to stop caring. So what you have to do is you actually have to treat it like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know, you have to disappear for a while, and then suddenly appear like Rockstar do. You just disappear for a while, and then suddenly knock you out with an incredible game.
It's the biggest game of
the next 3 years probably.
I think it's gonna slightly hurt their things, but it's not gonna be like a huge...
I think that make up for it. Like you're saying like
the people who's going to be the most annoyance for probably is going to be the ESA.
Yeah.
And then the people involved, because I can imagine their eyes rolling every time a reporter asks them about PlayStation. That's kind of like they're not involved in the event this year, so we can't talk about anything to do with PlayStation.
Yeah, but this is months away, so it's fine.
But can you imagine like routing the same question of like one of the biggest draws?
Yeah, but everyone always has to do that. Like that's the nature of the beast, getting asked the same question over and over and over again.
It's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
And to see them rolling their eyes, and eventually probably somebody is just going to go fucking crazy about this.
Yeah. Well, they're actually not part of the event this year, so we don't know anything that they actually have put out. So, if you want to check their website, you can do that. But
actually, there's an interesting thing to talk about. Apart from like the local people that are obviously going to go to E3 because of that, how many people do you think are going to be populating it? Because obviously, the big draw to going to E3 is going to be all these games, but also you go there because Microsoft. You go there because of PlayStation. Those are the two big events. And then there's the other outlying studios. But usually you're a fan of one or the other. And there's also Nintendo, stuff like that. But
I've got to represent Dave here and say something. What if, instead of Sony taking over the expo and doing that part, they put Fortnite in there instead. And Fortnite have a whole half of it. And you see all the Fortnite exclusives. Eh?
And here's the last
anyway.
Here's the last point I want to go on to.
Dramatic pause.
This is a dramatic pause because this is going to be one that's really going to screw with you.
It's not going to screw
with you.
Imagine, so they have their time to fill and they can replace that with somebody else. What if Google took that?
Get out. Okay.
This is like heavy, deep, dark web rumor shit, but can you imagine? This is Google's get in to the industry. And they take the PlayStation spot, getting into gaming. What? Say it.
I was just making fun of the way you said PlayStation.
Yeah.
The PlayStation.
Venom.
But can you because people are saying like, oh, you could have like Amazon or Google could take that spot. It's like probably not Amazon because they've been saying that for years that they're going to get into it. They've only done mobile shit and they're making enough money with that they don't have to worry about it. But Google are making moves.
Dance moves.
Interpretive dance moves. They could take that.
Yeah, they could.
And they have the clout. And with Assassin's Creed Odyssey and how that works, they could make a real push at something.
Yeah, they could.
And they could
just sweep it.
They could.
Yeah.
Well, this would be a really good chance for them. And this would be something that would get them in because it would still be the big conference is going to be Microsoft now. And then there's going to be the other ones that are going to be, exciting because of the games like Bethesda and stuff. But like console gaming, like the masses, Google, this is their in.
Yeah, or
Valve's comeback.
If they replace it,
well,
they've released their first game in like years. Artifact, it's a card game.
Oh, look at
based on Dota.
Super lazy. Super lazy.
I know, but they also, Valve have purchased a few studios in the time. In the last year, they've purchased.
They just buy games that aren't gonna make it and then finish them. It's not what Valve normally do.
Yeah, they buy
games that are struggling to be finished, and they go, yeah, we'll finish that.
That was literally the story with the people who were making that game. What was it, Valley of the Old Gods?
Yeah.
Where the trailer stuff came out, but they were in San Francisco, because that's like the tech place you go to when you're developing. Like that's the gaming hub, and so when they're there, they had a lot of problems, because, you know, the cost of rent there and studio spaces, and so they were going to like close down the studio and stuff because of, you know, all the rent, or they'd have to move, and then something got acquired by Valve, and now they can stay. And they, you know, the group of students that, you know, eventually became Portal, like this is what Valve do, but those games like Left 4 Dead, Portal.
I want that year of 3s.
Yeah, imagine that.
That year of 3. Imagine that's just
2023.
2033 if we're lucky. Looks like.
E3 is going to be really interesting, and I hope nobody fucking talks about PlayStation, because that's really
we're going to talk about it.
They're going to talk about it.
Well, they kind of have to, but there's not as much they can say. All they can do is just go, oh, well, they're not here.
Well, I imagine they'd say something like this.
We're probably going to talk about it. We'll do another marathon session talking about each
that
one.
was...
This topic is going to just come back again next year.
It's
and I'm going to sigh heavily, and then we'll continue on.
Yeah, let's continue on. We'll do a separate episode to talk about what PlayStation could have been this year.
And this is what they would have said.
Predictions for next year. There are the 3 topics. There we go. Sources.
Yeah. Great. Okay, guys, we're obviously you've come to a natural end. So, obviously, if you want to get in contact with us, or if you like our stuff, you know where to listen to us. We're on all these podcasting wonderful sites. We're also on YouTube, so if you could like and subscribe to us on there. We're also on Spotify. Actually, yeah, Spotify's nice. But we're on Instagram as well. So don't say it, Gary, because I will say it. And you're doing that creepy thing where you pout your lips, and talktotidbit@gmail.com if you want to talk to us. And that's
talktotidbit@gmail.com.
Gary, what is it?
Fuck off. Well, just
talktotidbit@gmail.com. YouTube.
Yes. Okay, I've been Colm.
Aaron.
Yo, Gary!
Goodbye.